Welcome everyone to the Spirit of Sake, the soul behind the brew. I'm Sandra, your master sake sommelier and educator. And this is my co-host, Kaori, sake sommelier and sake exporter. We're so happy you can join us today. Now, the very heart of this show is about sharing the authentic story of the sake Toji. For too long, these incredible sake masters are the individuals behind the bottles, but they haven't had their stories told yet. We simply taste their sake and we're not sure what is going beyond that bottle. So our deepest hope is that by watching our show, you'll not only enjoy the sake, but also connect to the Toji's journey and perhaps maybe fall in love with their passion and truly appreciate their hometown and unique brews come to life.
Hello, I'm Kaori. I'm living in Japan. I work closely to the breweries and Toji for past 10 years because I am exporting sake and being taught by them very important things directly. But through this interview, I really discovered the truth of sake. So let's join us the journey of sake together with us.
Exactly, Kari. Now, to start off our show, we have an incredible first guest. He's actually personally close to my heart and actually influenced my start of my sake journey. So let's start our journey to the heart of Tochigi. This beautiful region without an ocean boasts a captivating spirit. Here we find our first special guest, Mr. Hiroshi Inoue from Sawahime Sake Brewery, a fifth-generation Toji. Absolutely proud of his Tochigi prefecture, he truly champions what is authentic and strong. He truly hopes you experience his sake with a genuine feel and taste the unique beauty of Tochigi itself. Let's listen in.
井上社長お願いします。
はい、今期よろしくお願いしますね。はい。
じゃあ最初の質問いいですか？
はいはい、どうぞ。
その場所と影響っていうことで、酒蔵がその土地にあることで、お酒作りにどんな影響がありますか？
うちの場所ってことですよね。
はい。
まず、うちの蔵がある栃木県の宇都宮市の白沢っていう場所があるんですよ。そこは、古くは日本の旧街道である奥州街道の宿場町として栄えた場所なんですね。で、今も街中に水路が巡ってて、そして水車が回る水の町っていうことで知られている場所なんです。現在はその豊かな水資源っていうか水の生かした、稲作とか、野菜の水耕栽培とかが農業がね盛んな場所なんですけど、我々日本酒の蔵元にとっても良質な仕込み水っていうのは絶対必要なものじゃないですか。で、やっぱり良い酒を作るためには絶対に欠かせない重要なファクターがお水なんです。この白沢っていう場所は白い沢って書くんですね。で、その白い沢って書くぐらいだからよっぽど綺麗なお水が昔から出た場所だって言われてるんですけど、美しい川だけじゃなくて、井戸からも本当に澄んだお水で言うと軟水っていうすごいソフトな柔らかい水が出てくる場所なんで、沢姫のソフトで柔らかい主質っていうのは、間違いなくこの町の環境が作ってくれてるもんだなって、まずはその土地に関わる話だとそれがまず一つ言えるかなと思います。
じゃあ次の質問
はいはい。
はい。酒蔵は地元のコミュニティとどのようにつながってますか？
はいはいはい。そうですね。やっぱりこの町に現存する、今残ってる産業のうちで、農業とか林業とか、そういう第一次産業って言われてるもの、古い業界以外だと、やっぱり僕たちの酒造業っていうのは多分一番古い業界なんじゃないかなと思います。だから僕たちは、この町の誇りを醸し続けてるっていう、なんというか、 自負っていうのをすごく強く持ってる業界だと思うんですよね。それは多分、うちだけじゃなくて、どこの酒蔵でもそういうふうに、地元のコミュニティに対してそういうふうに思ってるんじゃないかなと思ってます。昔から日本酒蔵に共通して、言えることだと思いますし、やっぱり昔からその風土に密接に関わって、そしてその地に住む方々のお祭りとか、まあお葬式だったりだとか、出会いとか、まあ場合によっては災害だとか、まあ別れとかね、いろんな様々な節目に関わってきたお酒が日本酒だと思うんですよ。で、やっぱりそういう生活の中で共に生きて愛され続けてきたお酒こそが地酒だと思ってるんで、僕らは地酒を醸し続けていくっていうことに、我々は酒造家として、やっぱりすごい大きな誇りを感じています。だから地元のコミュニティに関わるというかね、地元の、なんていうか、皆さんに、本当にその自分たちの誇りになるものを作ってほしいってこともすごく言われるし、そういう形でね、やっぱり皆さんの、地元の象徴みたいなものを作ってるんじゃないかなと思ってるんで、それはすごく僕らにとっても大切なモチベーションだし、うん、エネルギーだったりしますね。はい。
じゃあ、他の酒蔵との違いや、この土地ならではの特徴
ああ、なるほど。
は何ものですか？
栃木県って、そもそも海ってないんですよね。で、海に面してない栃木県っていうのは冬が乾燥した冬晴れっていうのがすごく多い場所なんですよ。で、特に僕たちの住んでる宇都宮市っていうのは、北西の山岳部から、二荒おろしっていう乾燥した冷たい風が吹き下ろされる、そんな場所なんですね。で、酒造りっていうのは、お米の収穫が秋にあった後に、寒い冬の季節に缶作りっていう形で始まるわけなんですけど、宇都宮の北部にある我々、うちの蔵っていうのは本当にそういう極端に乾燥した場所になりやすいです。酒造りの重要な工程に麹作りっていう作業があるんですけど、常に乾燥との戦いなんですよ。本来は湿気があった方がある程度作りやすいって言われてるんですけど、乾燥をさせて作る、もう乾燥しすぎるとすごく大変だっていうふうに言われるんですけど、今、お酒ってやっぱり自然との共同作業で作るものでもありますんで、あの、僕たちはその風土的特徴に抗うっていうよりも、あえて他社よりも乾燥させた麹を作ることで、味わいがありながら後味が軽く飲みやすい、飲み飽きしないお酒っていうのを、沢姫として世の中に、世界中にご提案してきたつもりです。だから、やっぱりその地域の乾燥しやすい土地柄っていうのが、うちのお酒の味っていうのを作ってるんじゃないかなとは思ってます。
Wasn't that beautiful, Kari-san? The region is ideally so important for brewing sake.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the words I really impressed by Hiroshi was he said he's brewing the pride of his town. He uses the word blue to express his word and feeling, not only his brewery, but also as a sakagura, sake brewery. Sake has been deeply involved with the local people in every part of life, from funeral to celebration, from joy to tears.
That deep connection between Toji and their homeland Kari is so beautiful, and that is what makes Sawahime sake brewery so incredibly special. It kind of feels like a bond is infused into every step of their brewing, doesn't it, Kari-san?
Right. Absolutely. Sawahime means a princess of nature's blessings. And it really makes you think of the pure, pristine water of Shirasawa, where his sake comes to life.
You know that purity of water is so evident. It sets a beautiful base, right? Master Hiroshi also touched upon the connection to community, and you mentioned that as well. The land goes even deeper than the water itself, so this, extending into the culture of the region.
Yeah, people often say jizake. Jizake means local sake, but in Japanese, ji also means soul, as the region, even taro. So jizake isn't just about where it's made. It's about the soul of the land in every drop.
You know, I find this, concept, jizake, so incredibly, compelling, right? Sake that embodies the soul of the people and land. What a fantastic definition of, something so beautiful, right? It just makes my heart race. It is like you want to drink the sake and feel the soul of the land. What was also fascinating was how Sawahime sake truly embraces the Pacific climate of Tochigi, especially that unique cold, dry wind called Futara Oroshi in winter. This makes a very big difference with other sake breweries. Is that not right, Kari?
Right. So Tochigi doesn't have an ocean. That seems to be the carries a very special climate, very dry in the winter, and this weather makes the sake very truly makes special, especially when Hiroshi makes a koji.
You know that unique Koji Grove Karisan we just heard, Master Roshi explain, which is specifically achieved, in Tochigi's distinctive Futari Oroshi wind. What an incredible example of how Sawahime actively adapts its natural surroundings and innovates traditional brewing to create something truly special. It's kind of like a mindful dance with nature. Isn't that right, Kari?
Right. When I drank Sawahime, I really felt this sense of the meaning of very clear cut aftertaste and really enjoy the sake.
Ari, we have already seen Master Hiroshi Sawahime sake is tied to Tochigi, but Master Hiroshi just really puts his heart and soul in showcasing his region through his brewing. But something always fascinates me is the beginning of the Toji story. Like, why did they step into this world? And for some, is it clearly a family's choice, this incredible legacy? But for others, it might be a personal choice and a real passion. Let's look at what Master Roshi says about becoming a Toji at Sawahime Sake Brewery.
はいはい。
当人になったきっかけやその思い、使命感、目的は何ですか？
そうですね。やっぱり僕は酒蔵の長男として生まれてるのもあるんで、小さい頃から酒蔵の蒸し米の香りを嗅いで育ってきたっていうところがあるんですね。酒蔵は本当に小さい頃から遊び場で、そこに作業してる杜氏さん、蔵人さんっていうのがもう一人、もうみんなじいちゃんみたいな、そういう風に育てられてきた人間だったんですね。で、私の父の世代までは、岩手県とか新潟県みたいな、杜氏の里って言われるような地域があって、そういう地域から熟練の杜氏集団、蔵人集団っていうのを呼んできて、そして酒造りを行う杜氏制ってシステムが一般的だったんですけど、杜氏が高齢化していくっていうことだとか、そうですね、産業構造の変化、例えば、そうですね、そういう杜氏さんたちって冬場雪深い国に住んでて、そうですね、あまり冬場に 農業ができないんで、出稼ぎってスタイルで来てたっていう方々も多かったんですけど、さすがに半年間家を離れて酒造りを別のところで住んでるってそういう人たちもどんどんいなくなりますし、そもそも専業農家ってシステムがなくなってるから、当時さんたちがどんどんいなくなっちゃうんですよね。だから平成の頭っていうのは、本当に当時がいなくなっちゃうんじゃないか、産業が残せないんじゃないかってすごく心配された時期だったんで、あの、自社でね、なんとかその職人を育成しなきゃいかんみたいなことを、やっぱりどこでもそういう課題として持ってたわけです。で、そんな流れの中で、ちょっと私もいろいろ、紆余曲折があったんですけど、あの唯一大学で酒造りを学べる東京農業大学の醸造学科っていうところに進学して、でそこで醸造学を学ぶっていう、そういうことが最初だったんですけど、卒業してですね、数年間の修行を経て、一応私も地元栃木県で最初の当時資格認定者っていうことになれたんですね。ただ、私も他の今までの先輩方の当時さんとはまたちょっと違った、栃木県に生まれ育った最初の当時なので、もともと僕結構地元愛みたいなのが結構強かったりとか、そういうのがあったりするんで、あのーなんていうのかな、地酒っていう言葉の原点回帰っていうのもあって、普通酒から純米大吟醸まで全てのお酒の原料を100%栃木県産で作ろうなんていう挑戦を自分の使命として勝手に持って一生懸命挑戦を続けてる毎日です。はい。
ます。
はいはい。
了解の見解です。日本酒についてもっと多くの人に知ってほしいと思うことは何ですか？
そうですね。多く知ってほしいっていうことは、まあ、あの、日本酒ってすごく、ある程度、こういう味なんだろうなっていうふうに、日本国内でも海外でも結構思われてる部分っていうのがあって、例えば私、日本酒はあまり飲まないとかね、そういうふうに思っちゃう人って結構いるんですけど、実は日本酒って今すっごくバリエーション豊かなんですよ。我々と同じ世代の、新世代の杜氏っていうのが出てきて、そしてそのさらに僕たちの後輩とかのまたニューウェーブの杜氏さんたちが出てきて、本当に面白い酒がいっぱい出てきてる時代だと思うんで、日本酒っていう一括りに限らず、本当、日本全国すごく面白いお酒がいっぱいあるんだよ。あと、お料理と一緒にお酒飲むとすごく楽しいお酒なんだよっていうことをもっともっと世界で知らせていきたいなと思ってます。
Wow, Kari-san, what did you think about that? It's so amazing. I remember Master Hiroshi came to Perth. He explained a little bit to me, but I didn't get a full picture. But I was always so curious of why did he start become a sake toji master? It's such a very, very hard job, right? I love how he explained, right, that the Tojis and the Brewers and the Karabitos were like his grandfathers. Such an amazing bond and relevance to his childhood. I think when he was young, he already dreamed he was going to become the next Sake Toji master.
Before his generation, his father's generation and his grandfather's generation, the long time Japan brewery owner never become a brewery master. So he's the first generation becoming a brewery CEO and also brewery master, Toji, because in Japan at the time, 1990, his generation, so the skilled Toji has been disappearing because of the aging population and also the whole Japan's structure has been changed. So he had no choice but become a Toji. But after that, he found a lot of affection to the sake and he achieved to make a true Tero Jizake in true meaning.
Oh my God, when you were just saying that, Kari-san, I realized something totally different because we introduced Master Hiroshi as the fifth generation. sake brewery owner. But owner and sake toji are totally different because I know some, sake breweries, the owner and the toji are not the same person. There's different people. But in this case, Master Hiroshi is the fifth generation CEO of his family Sakegura, but also the first generation of Toji master in sake making in Tochigi for his family brewery. I believe this really, champions what his mission is, champion everything Tochigi, become a Toji sake master who's born and bred in Tochigi, using local ingredients in Tochigi, champion it from local ingredients, local rice, using the land, the climate, and everything that it makes people understand the full experience and naturalness of, Tochigi. So I believe when we're talking about this, the sake Toji's pride is so important. And this is what the Toji is creating, this masterful creation in their sake to share with the world. It really makes sense when Master Hiroshi came to Perth this year and he shared this piece of pride with me. It was really beautiful, Kari-san. He talked about IWC, International Wine Challenge. He said, in very simple translation, he didn't want to be the best, but the one and only, which in Japan and from Master Hiroshi is a very powerful, profound meaning. Isn't that right, Kari?
Right. He proved his sake is one of the best international meaning, but also he proved the sake made by local rice also win a first prize in IWC. So the rest of the sake brewery can follow the idea using their local rice.
Isn't that beautiful? So you're saying he champions Portuguese local rice and can get an international wine challenge. This really shows that dedication, that pride of Tochigi and Master Hiroshi in a way. Ain't that beautiful? Wow, we've heard so much great stuff from Master Hiroshi already, right? I asked him, something so important like this, and it was a really interesting question. Like, what do you say to people who don't get about sake? They don't understand what the sake is. Like, it's amazing variety. And then also, what are the big challenges, the big chances for sake around the world? These are huge questions. So let's listen in and see what Master Hiroshi has to say.
日本酒の最大の課題とチャンスは何だと思いますか？
そうですね。やっぱり課題っていうのはこれね、日本人のすごくいいところでもあるし、悪いところでもあるんですけど、割と日本人のホスピタリティって、なんていうか、いいものを安く出そうみたいなところって結構あるんですよね。だからすごく儲けるっていうよりも、美味しいものを皆さんに届けようっていう、そういう意識が強くて、もちろんそれってすごく我々としても美徳でもありますし、日本の文化の中ですごく正しいことでもあると思うんですけど、やっぱり海外とかで今いろいろ営業活動するとかそういうことを考えた場合に、日本酒ってやっぱりすごい安いなって思うことってすごくあるんですよ。それはクオリティとか原価が低いわけじゃなくて、利益率がすごく低いお酒だったり、メーカーにとってね。だから本当にこれから今、世界中で関税の問題がアメリカの大統領さんの問題でちょっといろいろ出てきたりとかしてるじゃないですか。だからそういう時に少し値段が上がったりするとすごく大変、売りにくい、買いにくい、すごくそういう状態にもなってるし、やっぱり僕たちがもっともっと世界中にいろいろお酒を堂々と伝えていくために正当にやっぱりいいものを高くしっかり評価されるような、もちろんただただ値段を高くしようっていうんじゃなくて、ちゃんとそれなりに理由のあるお酒っていうのをしっかり作って価値を上げていくっていうことがすごく大切だと、まずは思いますよね。まあ、チャンスっていう意味では、まだ本当に未開の部分っていうのはすごくありまして、 日本国内だと、ちょっとまだ、少し日本酒とか、お酒を飲む人っていうのがどんどん高齢化していって、ちょっと少なくなってる部分があるんですけど、本当に世界市場っていうのはブルーオーシャンですよね。本当に頑張れば頑張った方だけ結果が出てくる業界なんでね。日本の文化とともに、今それこそユネスコの無形文化遺産に、伝統的酒造り、日本酒を含む伝統的酒造りっていうのが認定されたっていうのがありますし、日本のその文化とともにね、やっぱり日本酒っていうのをもっともっと、ポジティブに、すごくいい形で広めていきたいなとは思っています。
Oh my God. Master Roshi really hit on some crucial points here in the video there, right? Especially about the global challenges. This consumer expectation for high quality sake at low prices has gone ongoing for many years. What a fundamental clash. To bring down the price often means compromising quality and balancing as if that. Master Roshi done it so beautifully, like pure genius. I speak to sake importers constantly, sharing their struggles with me. High prices mean they can't bring in amazing sakes. The market, they are scared, they won't appreciate it, and it will just sit in their warehouse, never moving. Even for my family, very beginning, when they brought in sake for Perth, pricing was a huge risk, so they couldn't get good quality sake. So they started to get economically, friendly, affordable sakes. But we realized that didn't work either, because we quickly see that if we wanted to move forward, we needed to educate our customers to make people understand sake's true value, else everybody will be the same. So like Master Roshi says in the video, in the interview, I saw that the market simply lacked appreciation for the essence of sake itself. Once the foundation of appreciation is built, we can truly open the doors to sake's deserving world.
Right. The sake is one of the most complicated production process. So it's very labor intensive, and then the brewery people tend to stick to the tradition. So as the price of the sake, so they have a dilemma. So and then nowadays the price of the rice is getting increasing. So yeah, and also the packaging and the bottles, all the things, including the transportation, increasing. So the sake brewery people is really thinking about how to adjust their original price to the market price.
Yes, I have heard many news from the sake industry news that we always get mail outs every month, right? There's a lot of things changing in Japan right now. Rice prices are increasing, the yield on the rice is not growing. So everything is affecting sake making production effectively. Even some sakes, we have gotten them before in Perth, in Australia, can't get them anymore because of these problems, right? So I understand the pain, the struggles globally faces, but also domestically it faces, because if domestic is not working, international can't rise either, right? So it also shares like, if we're going to open doors to it, and we want to touch on this space, right? I think, also hearing about the recent news about sake being recognized as UNESCO intangible cultural heritage should also be part of this sort of like revelation of how sake should be much appreciated around the world, right? I find it's incredibly important and meaningful to sake breweries in Japan to keep that sake production, continuing, doing their best, but also doing it for the world. And people will see that this is much more appreciated domestically, and global will hear about it, the international will hear about it, and, share that same sort of enthusiasm and appreciation to show their support.
That's a really beautiful point you brought out. And then the sake is one of the most complicated and difficult to produce and very much labor intensive. And nowadays, the ingredients like rice and even the package and the bottle and also transportation fee is rising a lot. And also, you heard about the UNESCO intangible, the things.
You're absolutely correct, Kari. And you just mentioned UNESCO Cultural Heritage, that movie. It was just established last year in December. And I think that really changed the things in the sake breweries in Japan, because I believe this demonstrates the global appreciation for sake and domestic appreciation for sake now. Because sake is not just a drink, but a living art form, profound in Japanese image for their, fighting spirit of their natural traditions and customs, a cherished cultural heritage as it is. So I believe this movement, I believe that time when everybody announced it, everybody came together globally, right, who loved sake. The movement of the world of the sake soul journey, a deep dive into the essence of Japan through its liquid heart. I believe such an important and meaningful, time and pride to sake breweries in Japan. How did it affect, Japan when it was announced, Kara-san? Can you share insights on that?
Yeah, actually, we are losing a sake brewery number a lot in alarming ratio. So we have to stop losing our heritage of the sake brewery together with not only Japanese people, but also overseas people.
Kara-san, I'm just hearing you say that how, in Japan, sake breweries are starting to close down because of the heritage somehow is getting lost, right? So now the UNESCO cultural heritage is kind of reminding Japan domestically, this is our culture, this is our pride, this is what we should protect. So this, community about how it affects people outside of Japan, I feel like we really appreciate it even more, because a lot of people outside of Japan love Japan. They love traveling there. They love the culture set, and they want to protect it, right? Because again, what people see sake as, same as people in Japan domestically, they see sake as just, this is a drink made of rice from Japan. But this is why there's a big conflict why sake cannot rise faster globally, internationally, domestically, because of this concept. Because who connects with a drink, alcoholic drink made from rice from Japan? We don't really connect to rice brew from Japan. This is probably why there's so much struggle to promote sake strongly outside of Japan and domestically as well, because of the lack of that cultural heritage protection. So I think, the claim of cultural heritage, the UNESCO that was, established last year in December, really, we should truly celebrate and define globally the importance of what it stands for. And it is actually so much more than just about sake being a drink. It's more than just the ingredients. It's a cultural heritage, it's a pride, it's a tradition, it's a custom that we should be protecting worldwide. Fascinating as that was, right, sake lovers? So now let's move up to our next questions. Master Roshi is now going to sharing what is the fantastic advice of anyone stepping into the sake journey very first time. Well, also he explains also how to explore art of food pairing and sake from his own experiences. Let's listen in.
日本酒を始める人にどんなアドバイスをしたいですか？
それは、飲む人っていう意味ですか、作る人っていう意味でしょうかね。両方かな。例えば、そうですね。日本酒今まで飲まなかった方が、日本酒を飲むっ っていう、そういう人にアドバイスをするとすれば、やはりそうですね、日本人がワインを楽しむときにもそういうところがあるんですけど、結構知識を飲もうとする方って結構いらっしゃるんですよ。こういう原料で、こういう作り方して、原料米はこういうのを使ったからすごく美味しいんだとか、そういうふうな、酸度がどのくらいあるからこういう味なんだって思うんじゃなくて、本当に自由に楽しむ気持ちっていうのを持って乗っていただければ、すごく日本酒って楽しいと思います。先ほどもちょっと言いましたけど、料理と一緒に楽しむとこんな楽しさがあるよっていうこともすごく分かっていただきたい。それは本当にジャパニーズフードだけじゃなくて、世界中のお料理とすごく合わせやすいのが日本酒だと思ってるんで、それぞれの皆さんのね、世界中の酒ラバーの皆さんに言いたいのは、やっぱりそれぞれの国のそれぞれのお料理と一緒にどうやったら楽しく飲めるかっていうのをちょっと楽しんでいただければなと思いますし、あともう一つね、最近海外で日本酒を作るっていう動き、まあ日本酒っていうのはGI 的な規定で日本酒とは言えなくて、あの、酒とかそういう形でやってるんですけど、今私の知ってる限りでも何十カ国、2桁以上の国で日本酒作ってくれてますよ。日本酒というか酒作ってますよね。で、そういう人も、やっぱり例えばフランスのワインっていうのが隆盛を極める中で、アメリカのね、やっぱりそうですね、ソドマとかナパバレーとかが出てきて、そして南米のチリとかそういう産地が出てきて、そして今度まあ第三世界みたいな形でアフリカとかも出てきて、すごくいろいろな地域の楽しさっていうのが出てきてるわけじゃないですか。もちろんオーストラリアのワインもすごくいい軽さもあってすごい好きですけど、そういうなんか日本、それぞれの日本の地域の楽しさよりも、多分世界中の世界中のライスを使った酒っていうのはすごく楽しいものが出てくると思うんでね。いろんなことに模倣するっていうこともすごく大切ですけど、自分たちの信じる形っていうのをすごいやっていただいたら、すごく我々の酒の業界って世界中ですごく楽しくなっていくんじゃないかなと思うし、まあその中でやっぱ僕ら日本酒っていうふうにね、元祖でやってる人たちですから、絶対に他の国の皆さんに負けるわけいかないし、今インターナショナルワインチャレンジみたいに、その世界中の酒っていうのを競い合う大会とかも楽しい一つの要素として出てきたりしますから、本当にね、あのーいろんなその地域ならではの挑戦を、僕も栃木ならではの挑戦っていうのをずっと続けてますけど、その地域ならではの酒造りの挑戦っていうのをしていただいたらすごく我々の業界もっと楽しくなるんじゃないかなと思います。
Kari-san, that was so insightful. It really actually connects to my own journey. You know, when I first dived into sake, I was actually blown away by the magic of sake with food. It actually changed my whole thinking about sake and what I believed in. Kari-san, did you know I actually hated sashimi growing up? Because I come from a culture, everything is cooked, well done, nothing raw, right? So anything raw will be so scary for me. I'll be scared to eat it. But that time, Master Roshi had a masterclass in Perth here, and we were in a Japanese restaurant. So I was thinking, okay, this is going to be so fun. I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to learn a lot, right? But I never expected the first dish was going to be raw salmon sashimi. I was like, oh my God, what do I do here? I didn't want to not eat it because I didn't want to be disrespectful to Master Hiroshi and, of course, the chefs who worked so hard for this event. But I was really, really scared to eat it. But I was thinking, okay, Master Hiroshi is here, the chef. He knows sashimi is Japanese, delicacy. We should be good here. Let's try and be brave and see what happens. So I was really brave. I take that salmon sashimi and I put it in my mouth. And I was thinking, oh my God, how beautifully delicious is this? Sweet, full of umami, and it just melted effortlessly on the palate. I was so, so, so amazed. I was thinking, what just happened? Right? And the sake, I wanted to do again, right? I tasted the sake. with the sashimi, and it happened again. But what was happening with the sashimi and the sake, it just disappeared everything. You can feel like in your mouth that the salmon was melting as the sake was heating up and breaking through. It was truly a very interesting experience. So the sake was actually served at, room temperature. So in our notion that time, people thought sake was only hot can be served or cold, but never room temperature. What a beautiful companion, right? And it was so smooth, so delicious, perfectly harmonizing with the sashimi. I was also very amazed of what I discovered. The temperatures or the flavors of the food and the sake did not clash at all. It was a beautiful, memorable experience, like it happened yesterday, and that was the moment my sake journey truly come alive.
Wow, such a beautiful experience. And then for Japanese people, sashimi, we don't afraid. But sometimes we have the very fishy type of dishes. So when I encounter such a dishes, I always bring a sake cup and pour the sake, and then just illuminate all the fishy smells as well.
Isn't it really interesting when you say that? I mean, Japanese culture, sashimi is your delicacy, and there's always sake on the side. And some, benefits of sake was just what you said, taking away the fishy odor, bringing out the umami in the dishes, because you want to appeal to the experience more better, and avoid all of those, bad characters that people tend to always consider when eating, raw sashimi. And it's just like Master Hiroshi says, right? Sake isn't just a drink. It's a partner that truly elevates the entire dining experience and your whole Japanese experience. It is a beautiful thing I can never forget. And that's really why I dive into the world of sake. Fascinating as that was, right, sake lovers? So now let's move up to our next questions. Master Hiroshi is now going to sharing what is the fantastic advice of anyone stepping into the sake journey very first time. Well, also he explains also how to explore art of food pairing and sake from his own experiences. Let's listen in.
もし日本酒を国際的な料理とペアリングするなら、どんな料理と合わせたいですか？その理由も教えてください。
正直先ほども言った通り、それぞれいろんな国のいろんな料理と合わせていただきたいって気持ちはすごくあるんですけど、世界中にあるものっていう基準で考えると、チーズっていうのは結構楽しいですよね。同じ醸造酒、同じ食中酒であるワインっていうのがもう代表的なチーズとのペアリングっていうのを代表的なね、合わせやすい食材としてやってるわけだし、僕ワインを好きな皆さんだとか、とっつきやすい形だと思うんですよ。チーズもその地域地域で素晴らしい面白いスタイルっていうのは結構ありますし、我々もお酒の製法の中で、木本とか山ハイみたいに乳酸菌発酵っていうのを使う、チーズと同じ乳酸菌のね、発酵を使う、工程もあったりとかしますのでね、すごく親和性が高いので、すごく楽しいし、実際に合うと思います。それに、実は、我々の栃木県っていうのも、北海道に続く2番目の生乳王国なんですよね。で、我々の友人とかも、クラフトチーズみたいなね、ナチュラルチーズをすごい作ってらっしゃる方もいらっしゃるんで、そういうチーズと一緒に日本酒を世界中で楽しんでいただいたら、まず最初のどんなおつまみが合うのっていうスタイルの中ですごく説明しやすいんじゃないかなと思います。
So Kari-san, we're just listening to Master Hiroshi, and I asked this question because I just wanted to be curious, right? Of if, as a sake toji master, what sake do you want your food to pair with your sake to pair with, right? Because it can't be just Japanese food, right? You've got maybe a more dreamlike type of feeling, right? And Master Hiroshi, forget or not, he actually picked cheese. You know, another story, Kari-san. I actually did not like cheese growing up. I find it was smelly. It was, yes, it was smelly. It has this lingering cheese. And what the hell? No, I don't like that cheesy taste, right? But then I learned about sake production and they kept on talking about lactic acid, right? And that piqued my curiosity. Like you were saying, you were went to knowledge because you were curious, right? So my curiosity started from cheese because of the understanding of what the ingredients were. So early in my sake journey, I wanted to explore in Perth untouched flavors because I was changing a perception here. I wanted people to really dive into sake without, limitations, without being scared. So I looked into the wine scene in Australia. They are so good at pairings, and the very classic here was wine and cheese. So I thought, okay, let's try why not sake and cheese. So I researched about cheese and I talked to cheese makers as well. And guess what? And the same ingredient, lactic acid, was there again. And that was like sort of like my cue, my connection. Why sake could go perfectly with cheese. And once I tried it, I was so in love. I was like, oh my God, the umami, the creaminess, the saltiness, it harmonizes. And you never thought that sake could be so light, but so delicate, can really do something beautiful to cheese. And now I actually love it. And that actually discovery led me to bring the sake and cheese experience to Perth. And it was a massive blowout to the locals here. They would never had expected that sake and cheese could go together.
The other day, I also pair with a lot of different types of cheese and different types of sake, and we experiment which sake go well with this kind of cheese.
And what was your discovery?
Yeah, and strong taste of the cheese can bring a better taste of the junmai body type. And the right type of the cheese, what is called like a whitish soft one.
Soft cheese, yes.
Yeah, it can pair with ginjo type. It's really fun, and you can explore a lot.
Oh, there's so much you can explore with cheese, right? I remember the very first time we had a cheddar cheese. It was crumbly, it was salty, right? So actually, first pairing we did was actually with a nigiri, but it was an interesting nigiri. It was called plum nigiri because nigiri has this lovely, creamy texture of the rice sediments inside, right? Because it's nigiri, it's coarsely filtered, rough filtered, and then got a plum flavorful sweetness to really marry with the saltiness of the cheddar. The other one was a very interesting one as well, was Italian Gonzala blue cheese, right? So blue cheese, we went with a soft blue cheese that time, and to have it paired with Sawahime Jumai Gold, which was like rich, it was full body, it was thick and, sort of like age-like as well, and marry that with the Italian Gonzala. What was amazing, some people find that blue cheese is a bit overpowering. They don't like it, right? So it actually mulled up that, lovely blue cheese flavor and actually just made it more creamier, salted out, the savoriness of the cheese, making it melt and kind of be more balanced. So the thing is, like I was saying, in the previous a few segments was sake doesn't clash with food. It harmonizes, it enhances, it does so much more to the food companion as well. But we're not overpowering it. We're actually, harmonizing with it. So I love playing with cheese. A great thing to really dive into food pairing is with cheese. Yeah. The fire of sake and spirit and energy is so powerful. We move on to, our next question. And this power of sake and energy and spirit, how do we connect it with people? Let's listen in to Master Hiroshi's philosophy.
日本酒が語る物語に移ります。あ
はいは。
ないたのお酒が物語を語るとしたら、どんな物語ですか？
そうですね。割と常識にとらわれない形でチャレンジをしてると思うんですよね。今まで我々長い歴史の中で、日本人ってすごく真面目な部分があるんで、こういう最高のお酒、例えば最高の大吟醸を作るなら、こういう原料を使って、その原料もこの産地のものを使って、酵母はこういうものを使ってすごく華やかなものを作っていってとか、そういう結構レシピ的なものっていうのをしっかり作り出してるんですよね。それも本当に否定せずに僕たちの先輩方が作り出してきたすごく大切なものなので、全く否定しないんですけど、僕は割と全くそういう知識、誰もやったことない地元の米で、地元の工房で、地元の水でみたいな、そういう挑戦で、おかげさまで IWC で2回チャンピオンいただいてるっていう状態なんで、やっぱりそういうオーバーザトップっていうか、地元愛が作る大逆転っていう、そういう物語ができたら楽しいなと思いますけど、まだ終わってるわけじゃなくて、これからもどんどん続く物語だと思ってるんで、これからの物語期待してください。はい。
日本酒を通して人々がどのようにつながっていくとお考えですか？
そうですね。これは日本酒だけじゃないかもしれないですけど、やっぱり一緒にお酒を組み交わすっていうことでお互いを知って仲良くなるっていうのはどこの国でもあると思うんですよ。で、その中で特に日本酒に関してはお互いに、なんていうのかな、酒を組み交わすって言葉がある通り、注いで飲んで、そういう、やっぱり日本のいろんな昔の世界の中でも、杯を交わすとかね、そういう言葉があったりするわけで、本当に飲んで仲良くなるってことすごくあると思うんですよね。今、世界中でね、もちろんそういうところばっかりじゃないですけど、ちょっと不幸な、なんていうのかな、戦争が起きてたりだとか、そうですね、人種間の隔たりがあったりだとか、ちょっとそういう問題があったりとかすることもあるとは思うんですけど、やっぱり日本酒を組み交わすこと、お酒を組み交わすことで、世界中が仲良くなってね、そして本当にワールドワイドにみんながね、どんな立場の人でも、もちろん、お酒は大人になってなくちゃ飲めないわけですけど、そういうお酒を飲んで仲良くなるような、みんなが笑顔になるような幸せな社会っていうのを来ることを、やっぱり僕はもう一番願ってます。
All right, Kari, you kept on saying to me, and only after I watched Master Hiroshi's interview, I actually can see it that Master Hiroshi and I have the same energy. Well, it kind of makes sense, right? He's actually my first master who introduced me to sake properly and shaped who I am today. What I can say about sake, even after many years, he hadn't come back to Perth. It was about 5 years, 6 years. And I have never forgotten his passion, his inspiration, and his drive for learning and believing in what he does. I truly feel like he's been such a big influence to my sake career. And this same influence, this same passion, this same energy, I really want to inspire my own students, my customers, and people who follow me that same, beautiful passion and energy. Because back when I started Kari, is actually that time was really hard times. Australia and Perth didn't know about sake, very scared, very, afraid of this sake or alcoholic beverage from Japan that nobody knew about, right? So I had to push, I had to try, I have to keep on, never giving up, right? Because like Master Orochi, I was determined to do something that no one has done before, which was to bring that beautiful sake spirit sake story, sake world to Australia. And just like the sake challenges that Master Roshi feels with the world and his local pride, I wanted to bring the sake pride to Australia and let them celebrate it and appreciate it.
So I've been observing both of you have the same vibration, energy, and the spirit of challenge. So I've been doing exporting business for many years, and then I observed when sake beyond the ocean to another country from Japan. So there is a certain rules. If the producer and the importer have the same amount of energy, that is when the sake can beyond the ocean. So both of them have the same amount of high amount of the energy. That's what I believe. And then I see you and Master Hiroshi have the same vibration. So that's what I'm impressed.
Oh,
And
it's beautiful what you just said, Kari. You said we're talking about beyond the bottle, but beyond the ocean, because you got to understand, sake comes from Japan, comes onto a ship before it comes to Australia. So beyond the ocean makes sense, which is outside of Japan, right? And when you were mentioning about producer and supplier, now these two must harmonize. Just like food pairing, they need to harmonize. If you just have a producer selling their sake over the ocean to suppliers who don't have any energy towards it, I can tell you the sake would never ever reach the customer's market, right? It won't reach the market more effectively. It will reach the market, but only unless the supplier has that same heart and energy that's in sync with the sake producer, then that's where it's going to shine. So it kind of makes sense. Like when I found out also in Master Roshi's visit to Perth this year, we were actually the first country to be imported from Japan for Master Roshi's sake. So as soon as we received Master Roshi's sake, we could promote Master Roshi's story. This was a buy as well, but the importer was the same, right? They were connected to Master Roshi's sake brewery energy, as well as they got the right buyer, which is mine, have the energy. So everything harmonized. Everything was like a chain reaction, right? But when I started Kari-san, which was really sad actually, I remember talking to a supplier. I won't name who they are, but either way, I was talking to a supplier and I was sharing all the sake, the beautiful feeling about sake, good things about sake, even asking them questions about sake, and they were like a statue. And I was thinking, like, when I say statue, metaphorically speaking, okay, they were no inspiration, no feeling, no emotion. And I'm a buyer, I'm a sake buyer. You're trying to sell me sake. Do you think I want to buy sake from you? This is the energy clash, right? You don't want to feel like buying sake because people like see you, buyers see you. Why would I buy sake from you? You're not even excited to sell it to me. Why should I buy from you, right? And even that, you don't even know about sake, that same energy. So this is what you are saying, right? The synergy between the sake producer, the supply is really important. And this what makes, sake to be more accessible in Australia, out of Japan, and able to be going to the consumer market more effectively through the flow, the energy of appreciation and the sake spirit. So I definitely, feel exactly, I do understand exactly where you're coming from. And this is why sake energy can be so powerful and so celebrated to bringing sake alive outside of Japan. Sake energy, sake spirit captivating the world, right? This segment about Master Roshi telling about, how sake connects to people really speaks to my inner soul. Because I remember so clearly how this philosophy of connection really came to life during the period of COVID time. It was truly magical, right? Before COVID and before knowing about other people from other countries outside of, Australia, I thought I was always alone. I couldn't confide in people about sake. I didn't know how to speak about sake. I was happy about sake, but nobody to share with. So I always really talk a lot to Master Orochi during that time, right? Because he understood, right? So it was really like feels like a learning world. Like nobody understand what I was trying to do. But it was such a blessing, when I was able to connect to more sake breweries and also sake comrades in different parts of the world. It was really amazing when I was able to talk to people from India, Dubai, Switzerland, Germany, and they were following me just because of that same beautiful connection, right? And it really didn't matter if everybody was speaking in different languages. But in the name of sake, it was that one language that everybody understood, right? So during that time in COVID, through sake, it was a beautiful time where everybody could come together spiritually, right? And through sake and also find refuge. I even had some students of mine who'd share with me during COVID time and also other times where it was really a dark time in their period. And they were turning to sake as their savior that saves them. So I feel like sake has a magical power that really, truly connects with people.
Master Hiroshi said the very important Japanese phrase, sake o kumikawasu. That means sharing sake cup, pouring each other. That means it's not only the shared sake cup, but also the behind the meaning is the strength, the bond of each other. So,
I
yeah.
truly believe in this because you can actually go into a Japanese restaurant with sake and you can actually talk to a stranger literally because sake was that medium that actually connected. I'll share a story. I went to a Japanese restaurant, right? And they saw me drinking, mokukiri with the sake shot glass and masu inside with the overpour, right? So a very interesting concept for a foreigner to see this, right? But of course, I know what to do, so I drink as it. And then there was this customer next to me. He was literally seeing what I was doing and seeing what I was doing, right? And I just looked at him because I know somebody's like looking at me, right? Watching me there. And he's like, I smiled at him first, right? And then he decided to order the same thing. So when he received the cup, even though we're strangers, he just asked for some advice with this and he just saw how sake changed his mind. And then he tried the experience and then he was asking me, so how do I do? And then I would share a piece of beautiful sake culture with him. You drink it first, and then after you finish, you pour it from the masu and then enjoy, savor it, right? So in Japan, so we were just bonding on that, and we were totally strangers. So, like you said, the cup is not only to be shared, but the bond, the tradition, the custom, the way of life is also shared. So, I definitely see this beautiful metaphorical meaning with what Master Hiroshi says. We've been having such incredible conversations about Master Hiroshi and Karami. We just can't stop reliving the past and sharing all our passion. We're now going to full circle of Master Hiroshi's interview, and we're now looking ahead. He will share his vision for his future of his brewery and for sake itself, reflecting on the legacy and spirit he hopes to continue to thrive. Let's listen in.
最後、これからの展望。あなたの酒蔵と日本酒の未来について、それぞれどんな希望をお持ちですか？
そうですね。やっぱり僕は地元の米でどこまで挑戦できるかっていうことを、もう、栃木の米で世界のどこまで行けるか。それによって栃木っていうのに来てほしい。なんていうのかな、行きたいなって思ってくれる、魅力を感じてくれる人がいたらすごくいいなと思ってて。実際サンドラさんのお客さんとかでも何人かうちに遊びに来てくれてる人とかいるんですよね。本当にそういう、我々がね、お酒を作る活動っていうのは単なる生産活動だけじゃなくて、 文化を紹介する、そういう活動だと思ってます。そういうことでね、これからもずっと頑張っていきたいなと思いますし、まあさっきもちらっと話した話ですけど、日本酒って、あの、他の醸造酒とちょっと違うところがあるんじゃないかなと思ってて、例えば、お料理とのペアリングっていうのを考えたときに、ワインってどっちかっていうと、例えば、お料理の油とか、ソースの油とかをワインの酸味でスッと流して、タンニンの渋さで味を引き締めて、ペアリングさせていくだとか。あとはそうですね、同じような醸造酒で言うとビール。ビールも炭酸ガスで油をスッと流した後に、ホップの苦味で締めるっていう、そういうタイプの、なんていうかな、お料理との相性の構造だと思うんですよね。だけど日本酒の場合は、なぜか、どっちかっていうと、スッと流すというよりも、一緒に食べたお料理で味を膨らませるっていう、そういう増幅させるっていうところがあると思うんですよね。例えばもう本当にこう、美味しいお刺身とか煮魚とか食べた時に、本当にこれ一緒に合わせたら、その味をふわーっと何倍にも膨らませて、そしてその後にスッと消えるっていうのが僕の理想なんですけど、で、もう一杯飲みたいとかね、もう一口料理食べたいなって思うような、そういう酒作りたいなとは、希望としてすごく思ってますし、まあやっぱりそれでね、先ほどの話とつながる話になるんですけど、そのお酒を飲んでお料理を食べて、みんなが一緒にワイワイやって、そして楽しい世界ができるっていうのが我々にできるすごく、うん、社会貢献であり、夢であったりとかするんじゃないかなと思います。
Oh, Kara-san, so we're finalizing, Masaroshi's interview here, but what he's saying, I'm just so captivated recently with Japanese culture, and I really want to share with you what has recently happened. Sake is such a powerful way to share that heritage. Let me share. I was just recently have a Japanese restaurant open. It's actually opened by a Japanese mom and her husband. She opened up this Japanese restaurant and she wanted to really share her hometown culture and family recipes. She was in the tofu making business. So during that time and recently now, there's a lot of Japanese tofu making shops are now closing down because the younger generation doesn't want to take over the job. We're going back to that time of keeping a legacy alive. So the Japanese mom, she actually lives here. She says she wanted to bring of that heritage in here and keep it alive because that's what she grew up with. That's her tofu making family tradition, right? So she really wanted to bring this story of 100-year making tofu making legacy alive in Perth, right? So I told her, I went to a restaurant and I saw her sake list, I saw her foods. I said to her, you should bring in sake from your prefecture because I said, where are you from? She said, oh, I'm from Tokyo prefecture. So why can't you bring a sake from Tokyo, right? That can connect to people straight away, right? Talk about your roots, talk about your origin, talk about where you're coming from. Customers can definitely feel more connected to the food, to the story, to the concept of the restaurant venue owner, and of course the sake to draw everything together. It feels so natural, so humbling, so beautiful inside. There is so much you can look into just by the cultural heritage alone. It's just like with sake we're talking about, you're sharing a piece of your hometown, a soul woven into the sake bottle. It's sacred. You want to protect it, right? And you can share that story so easily, so genuinely, because it is part of your life. It's part of your heritage. It's part of your hometown, right? This is a way to really open up the gateway to people, to connect to people from Australia to Japan or any parts of the world, right? Just by this beautiful symbolic cultural heritage itself. So I believe, right, dreams can be shared, can be also celebrated. It brings them to life. And through this beautiful sake energy you're receiving as a reward, it's amazing support of making it life living and spiritually connected.
So Sandra, I really think what you say, and then Master Hiroshi described is really aligned. And then I also think every single bottle of the sake carry the stories on its reason coming from. So it's contained from the, the landscape of reason and the taste of the rice and the people of wishes. So I think a really sake bottle can bring like a living the gateway of culture.
You said it as well, Kare-san, and I love how you point out it could be like a wish as well. The wishes of the cultural heritage, the wishes of Japan, right? Because we want people to connect to Japan, which is the most important thing, right? Food is one of the ways and most popular ways, more trending ways of how people love Japan and food. But how about the drink? We need a drink because food and drink come together. But the drink with an inspired story just beautifully connects. And it's more powerful when we have these two harmonies combined as one. So you said it's like the wish of Japan as well. Ari, what a fantastic, incredible journey we've had with Master Hiroshi, in our interview to really celebrate Sawahime sake brew from Tochigi Prefecture. His passion, his dedication, his vision truly is the spirit of sake, the soul behind the brew. It is looking beyond that bottle and understanding his story behind it. We hope today's episode has given everybody a deeper appreciation for the artistry of sake, the passion and the personal journeys that go into every drop of sake.
I hope you enjoy our first episode. And if you have a bottle with you, and if you're curious about the story behind the bottle, let us know. We can interview the Toji and we can bring the new story to you.
Join us next time for the spirit of sake, the soul behind the brew, until we unlock another fantastic story from the world of sake, diving into the legacy and life of another incredible Toji. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Kampai. Kampai.